I'm grateful to be here, and I'm excited about what the next 4 days will be, and hopefully we'll do something or say something that will motivate people to become a part of the movement.
That's right.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. My name is Linda Ragland. I'm a volunteer with KDITC, and KDITC is a nonprofit foundation, and the acronyms are for K Davis in the Community. K Davis in the Community does amazing things, random acts of kindness. They support the arts and artists. They provide college scholarships, which is the reason that we're here today. This event, the Movement Festival, is a fundraiser. However, it is inspired by what happened 5 years ago, which was the murder of Houston's own George P. Floyd. So we have 4 days of events kicking off with today, which is a forum where we're going to talk about social justice. The forum is called The Report Card, followed Friday by a pop-up on Alameda, Saturday brunch and concert in the park at Tom Bass Park at the amphitheater, and Sunday we have worship in the park, which is hosted by Marcus Wiley, Pastors Remus Wright, Pastor Mia Wright, Pastor Bishop Dixon is going to be there. So we're grateful that you all are here. We look forward, and as Sharita said, we hope that you walk away inspired by some of the words that you hear today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to pass this right over to Dallas, because somebody's got to get on a plane, and we've got to hear what she has to say. So with that, thank you, ladies, and I'll have Dallas introduce our keynote speaker. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How everybody doing? Okay, looking great. Good to see you. Thank you for coming out for this occasion. This is the Report Card Forum, and here we're going to have some real conversations from some real dynamic powerhouses here in our community about where we are now. What does the landscape look like? What are our grades as a community right now in 2025? 5 years later, after the brutal murder of George Floyd. And so thank you to Danette and Sharita and everyone that put this together for inviting me to be your moderator today. I will try to make it not too boring, maybe a little interesting, and maybe in the process we can have some real good talk. Speaking of good talk, we will get to our speaker, our keynote speaker, to set the stage and frame today's discussion. And so, give me just a second. Let me pull up her bio real quick. I had it open. All right. So if you will, please join me in welcoming Ms. Tezlyn Figaro. As the founder of the award-winning Tezlyn Figaro Communications Group, Tezlyn Figaro, a certified Florida Supreme Court certified Civil Circuit and Appellate Conflict Resolution mediator and trainer, provides communication solutions, political strategy, crisis management, and customized training for America's most influential political, social, and cultural leaders. Tezlyn is a sought-after public speaker whose prophetic and powerful message stirs the conscience and inspires listeners across demographics. She is the host of the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on Charlemagne the God's Black Effect podcast network on iHeartRadio, the largest digital radio and music streaming service in America. In addition to hosting her weekly podcast, Tezlyn has been seen curating the front page news daily on the popular, nationally syndicated in over 90 markets Hall of Fame radio show, The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is also seen daily on Black Entertainment Television. Tezlyn is the managing editor, senior producer, and chief political correspondent for Revolt News Television, unapologetic, authoritative voices of hip-hop culture, and the host of Tez on 10, a television show centered on Black American issues on Revolt Television. She can also be seen sharing her independent, nonpartisan, Black-centered perspective as a political contributor on Revolt Black News, News Nation, The Hill, Fox News, and The Griot, and more. I got about 4 more paragraphs. I'm going to skip down to the last one that says Tezlyn has been honored over 10 times for... Okay. As founder, instructional designer, and lead trainer for the Push the Line nonpartisan political training program, Tezlyn developed the core program curriculum framework and successfully organized over 300 political candidates, operatives, and organizers from all over America to attend a 12-hour in-person boot camp in Atlanta, Georgia. Additionally, she offers continuing online education for hundreds of participants aged 16 to 60 years old yearly. Tezlyn has also served in leadership capacity as campaign manager, communications director, and political director on dozens of federal, state, and local political campaigns. Tezlyn was featured as the senior public policy consultant for attorney Ben Crump in the award-winning documentary Civil on Netflix. Tezlyn has led public policy strategy for high-profile clients of the Ben Crump law firm, including but not limited to the following: the George Floyd family, Monroe Bird, the assault victims of former Oklahoma City police officer Daniel Holtzclaw, the victims of the Flint water crisis, and the victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, Florida. Her involvement has led to numerous states and cities duplicating her strategies, which resulted in the immediate implementation of police reform public policy on the state and local levels of government. Tezlyn has been honored over 10 times for her business accomplishments and community advocacy, such as the 2012 Orlando Business Journal Women Who Mean Business Award, the 2025 Voice of the People Award for the Next Generation Action Network, the 2024 Social Justice Champion Award from the Ben Crump Law Firm, the 2023 Champion of Change from the University of California, Los Angeles Black Law Student Association, and the 2023 Minority Entrepreneur of the Year from the U.S. Department of Commerce, just to name a few. Tezlyn is a proud Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University Law School student. Please welcome Tezlyn Figaro.
Good morning. Now, y'all probably think I'm crazy because I interrupt Dallas to say, no, don't skip mine. Now, do y'all want the truth or y'all want me to play with you? Which one you want? Now, the reason why I did that, and I'm glad to be here, I'm so glad Bishop is here in the audience. The reason why I did that, brother, is because it is important as we talk about a report card, who is the messenger? As we see in this movement right now, it needs to be distinction between the message and the messenger. And I know a lot of times we say, well, it don't matter, just focus on the message. I'm here to tell you that the messenger matters. It meant something on who God sent to go speak to the people of Israel. So my bio is important to me because I earned every last receipt on that bio. And I want to say something specifically to the women. We tend to not speak up. Now, he didn't mean this intentionally, but I got to teach Bishop, I'm sorry. Many women would just sit there and say, oh, it's fine, just skip on past. No, we're gonna go ahead and read it all the way through so that you could know that what I'm about to tell you is from firsthand experience. I got it out the concrete, not the mud, because the mud was too soft. Everything that you read, I did as a single mother, 18 years by myself. My baby's going to Prairie View in August on a scholarship. I'm going to FAMU Law School because she's finally going to school. So that's important that you always, especially women, you always make sure they go over them receipts. We earn to get, especially in the age of DEI. We want to make sure, Bishop, they know this ain't no DEI type situation. Everything I'm speaking is from what I earned. So that's why I did that, guys, not to be rude. And thank you, Dallas, for reading, because I was on time. I was here at 9:30. So y'all rushing me, want to get through the bio, want to rush through the bio, because y'all showed, no, I was here. So that's very important. Now, my apologies, I do have my alarm set off to go, because I do need to catch a plane. I'll say this, I asked Sarita, are you sure you want me to speak? Because a lot of times, and Bishop, no, I'm going to call Bishop a lot of times people ask me to speak, but a lot of times they get excited about it, but then when they hear what I have to say, they say, oh, maybe we should have went in another direction, because I tend to the truth just kind of come out on accident, if you don't mind bearing with me. If you listen to my show, Straight Shot No Chaser, I encourage you to please do so. My intro says, Bishop is still praying for me. I was talking about Bishop Dixon. That comes from a speech that we did a few years ago, and Bishop was nervous because I was on the mic. They never know what I'm going to say. And I turned around to Bishop and I said, well, he's still praying for me. So go ahead and start praying now, Bishop, and we're going to do a round two. I won't take long, but I must be honest about where we are. And I trained hundreds of people on how to run for office. That was the paragraph that he was about to stop at that I wanted you to hear. I want you to hear for a reason, because if you are interested in my training, please go to TezlynFigaro.com. I welcome you in my training. It's called Push the Line Politics Until Something Happens, and it's my job to show you what that something is. Everybody has a gift. Whether it's online, if it's in the comments, the comment caucus, what I call Brother Muhammad. I met him for the first time today in person. He's always in my comments encouraging me. And so I want you, if you're interested, to please get in that training. It's online. We train hundreds of people every year, and that is June 14th. So please look that up. Have a master's in adult education, so there's one thing I love is a good report card. So when I saw the title for report card, I, again, asked my sister Sarita, because she's become a sister to me, you sure you want me to speak? She said, well, yeah, that's what we need to hear. I said, okay, well, we're going to go with it. Now, before we get into the grades, it's important that we understand the purpose of a report card. So I just kind of want to take you through that for a moment. A report card is a formal document that provides a summary of students, put a pin in that, academic performance over a certain period of time, put a pin in that. Typically a semester or a school year. Now the report card covers a couple of things, Bishop. One, grades. That's a student's score or grades for different subjects or courses. Two, comments, feedback from the teachers, put a pin in that, about the student's strengths, areas for improvement, and overall behavior. The third thing that we look at is attendance. Information on how the student attended class, including any absence or tardiness. Let me say it one more time. Including any absences or tardiness. I want you to look around the room and count who's in the room. Now, I'm not beating up on y'all. This is what I want y'all to go back and tell y'all cousins and y'all friends who couldn't make it today. This is very important, this information I'm giving you. You'll be inspired, don't worry, but I gotta prick your conscience. Have to actually give you what's happening in real time. Behavior and conduct, that's notes on a student's behavior, social interactions, and attitude in school. Now, like I told you, I asked Sarita, are you sure you want me to do a report card? She said, yeah, just do. I said, well, exactly what you want me to do? Well, just do what you normally do. I said, okay, now, Sarita, you know what I normally do. So I want to go over what you probably thought I was going to stand up here and speak about, and the panelists will get to this. They'll talk about what America's doing and what Trump is doing and what everybody else is doing and how we're in the state of condition that we are, and I'm going to defer that to them. But I want to take a moment and talk about the student, you. Somebody got to upset and disrupt the classroom and take it back so you can challenge your other peers who seem to couldn't make it today or any other event. Because my teacher, the God Almighty, and this is just for the believers. If you're not a believer, don't worry about it. Is any believers? I don't want to offend nobody. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of preaching up here today. I'm going to let them talk about Trump. I'm talking about us. And again, not y'all, because y'all showed up. Y'all in class. Y'all accounted for. But it's important that we address this. Now, in this metaphor, when we talk about the report card, we're going to talk about America being the school system. It is the system that we're all a part of. We've read all of our books, and Bishop, we've been enrolled in this system for over 400 years. So me standing up here using the 20 minutes that I got to tell y'all about a system that we already know about, I don't think it serves you best, because we're not spending enough time on the students. Now, I know my bishop is going to talk to y'all later about cruise ships and battleships and how we always want to get the soft way out and to feel real good about it. Y'all leave church feeling good and feeling high when they should be leaving convicted. You should be leaving wondering, am I in the right class? Today, you're going to wonder, am I in the right class? See, my training, I'm an Air Force veteran. And when we went to basic training, y'all, it was designed to get y'all out. It was designed to break you down. I told Bishop Pastor Jamal Brown, I said, the church welcome everybody in, the military push you on out. The goal is to identify who are the soldiers. Like I was telling Brother Muhammad. My first class is called We Are Soldiers. The goal is to decide who is in Gideon's army. The goal is not to tell you whatever just so you be in the room and you get us killed because you were in the wrong room. Did anybody watch Sinners? See, y'all, I'm all right with being, I told Brother Muhammad, he said, well, you know, we all got to get together. What we you talking about? We're going to let Brother Muhammad worry about the we. I'm going to focus on the 5 of us in the room like on Sinners. Y'all go ahead and stay outside. And we're going to pass the garlic around and we're going to see who passed the test. I'm all right with standing by myself alone in this moment. One of my modules said it's not about we, it's about me. You're too comfortable needing to stand with everybody. You're too comfortable thinking, I got to have somebody with me. No, no, no. See, when they said on Sinners, come on outside. Come with all of us. We all the same. No, no, no. Let's put the stake of truth in my hand and be all right with dying solo like Mary Magdalene, the one that they forgot to tell y'all about in the Bible. Y'all know who Mary was? Yeah, I'm Mary. She was the disciple that they didn't want to tell y'all about, the only one that had the courage to stand by the tomb. When the other disciples went to sleep, when Peter denied him, when Judas betrayed him, they said Mary was crazy. Mary said, I'm just going to wait by the tomb because if he could do it for me, then surely he can do it for himself. Women, you have a calling in this hour, and it ain't running around learning boots on the ground. And where them fans at? I done spoke to some spirits up in here. We lost Benjamin Crump, our right-hand assistant, been working with us for the last 15 years. His name was Adner. The last text that Adner sent me, Bishop, I hadn't talked to Adner in probably a few years. The last text that Adner sent me, he passed away. He took his own life. Yeah, see, I got to tell, see, I could sit up here and just play with it, Bishop, but we got to wonder why somebody who's been in the movement for the last 15 years decided to take themselves out of here. I did my commentary that week on Revolt News, and I was talking about y'all and this where these fans at, and this resting y'all doing, and respectfully to Michelle Obama, sitting up on the stage, talking about line dancing when they putting boots on our neck, when just yesterday, all the policies we worked for in Minneapolis to get them to turn that policy around was reversed. Just yesterday, Bishop. I get it, black women. I know y'all say we resting. Y'all saying y'all done with it. I get it. Y'all see the memes on social media with the black women sitting up watching it all burn down. I get it. But while we resting, they moving. While we ask them where the fans at, they putting policy together to take you out of here. The last text that Adner sent me, because he would always tickle me, tease me, every time they sing Bishop Notice, every time they sing Negro spirituals at rallies, I tell them to stop all that singing and start swinging. I did it at that rally, Bishop. Pope Bishop, they was really about to really getting there. And hold up, not when I'm on the, we got to stop the singing. I appreciate the singing, and I can halfway sing. But Adner would always text me and say, Tezlyn, they over here singing. I need an intervention, they singing. So when he saw me talk about boots on the ground, the last text he sent me, April 3rd, said, so you mean to tell me you ain't got your boots on the ground? And since I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years, Bishop, I know that's not by coincidence. He was letting me know, because in that commentary I was saying, while we singing, people dying. 200,000 black women lost their jobs last month. 300,000 black people are on the books to lose their job in the federal government. The center of the black middle class. Now you can let these podcasters and these rich folks tell you we gonna be all right if you want to. Well, we done been through this before. Not my generation, you ain't been through shit. Excuse my French. You ain't been through what grandma and them been through. You ain't drunk out know how to do no canning, no planting, drinking out the jars. You don't know how to do that. Now, why we lying to them, bitch, talking we done been through it? You ain't been through it. Y'all sitting up talking about mental health from scrolling? All you doing is scrolling on Instagram. Bishop, they can't even scroll. I can't even get you to scroll and click a button. That's affecting your mental health when we done got beat down and all you need to do is scroll? And you think you're ready for what's happening right now? Somebody lying to somebody. Because this generation, we don't have it, y'all. And the more we keep lying to each other saying, we done been through it. We haven't. We're not equipped. If the average age in this room right now is in their 50s, that's a problem. Where's the generation of Joshua? Where are you? So I can't afford to sit here and tell y'all no lie about what the report card is and the true report card on where we are. Now, when we say examine the student's period of time, I'm only going to go back, Bishop, from George Floyd to now. The day after George Floyd was murdered, we walked into Sarita's house. First time I met her, y'all know Sarita can get down on some cooking. Did y'all know that? One thing them Floyd's gonna do is make some greens, some yams. And from the moment we locked eyes, I knew that it would be a long-standing relationship. And what do you say to a family that is, first of all, dealing with the loss of a loved one, publicized, media pulling at them every which way? Everybody got something to say. I'm a talker, but then there's also a time just to be quiet and be present in the classroom. Everything gonna report back to the report card. Y'all just bear with me on the metaphors. And we built this relationship over 5 years. And so my report card analysis, which is why I wanted you to hear the bio, is because I've been in the classroom and I want y'all to know what I done saw. And when we marched in Washington, D.C. during COVID, everybody was so motivated about George Floyd. Oh man, they was making masks and t-shirts and making rap songs and online. Where are they, Bishop? Where are the 9 like they say in the Bible? Because I can't tell. I thought they told me it was not a moment, it was a movement. I can't tell. When we went to Virginia, and I strong-armed, Sarita will tell you, I strong-armed, what was the name of the organization? You know, I like tell it all. Bishop don't want me to tell it, I'll tell it all. What was the name of the organization? Change.org. They had called the family and said, well, you know, we want permission to use George Floyd's face. I said, well, you know, have you ever used change.org, the petitions? I said, oh, you know, it's not good enough to just use the face. I need you to fly the family in. Go ahead and open up that checkbook and bring them on in. We done with just using faces and symbolic gestures. You raise millions of dollars a year off the lives of black folks, and although we appreciate the petition, but we're gonna need you to write that check and send folks in. This is a true story. Then we got to the hotel and it was unacceptable. So of course I did what I do. I said, well, it's gonna run you another bill. Because you can't just treat the George Floyd family any kind of way. That was the first time that Change.org ever gave a family any donation. And from speaking up in that one moment, they started a whole program where now they give back to the families. Somebody got to speak up and say what the report card looked like. Somebody got to be willing to embarrass somebody and say, no, keep on good. Somebody got to be willing to do it. Because if we don't, we'll never see any change. I stood on that stage and I didn't want to speak, and Sarita knows this to be true. I was minding my business, as usual with Attorney Crump. Y'all be thinking I be wanting to speak, but I really don't. Because I be afraid I'm embarrassing my bishop, and I don't want to embarrass him no more, you know. I don't want to have him to say, well, you know, that's the cousin, y'all got to, you know, make excuses for the family reunion. So I tried not to speak. But I had to say something on behalf of Attorney Crump, and you can go watch Netflix, the documentary. I'm around the 20-minute mark. I'm the only speaker. They followed Ben Crump for 2 years. I'm the only speaker that they put in that film because they said that what I said in that moment set the stage for the entire film. And I'm not saying that from no bragging, because Serena, I care less about that. I'm the hood whisperer. I'm saying that to say that when it's your time to speak, you better speak. When it's time to be married, you better speak up, even if it means willing to die for the cause. Even if they kill me like I just watched them kill my Jesus, I'm all right with it, because I've done all I've been called to do on this earth. And what I'm not going to do is sit by the tomb and just act like I don't know what I know. And had I not been by the tomb when he woke up and said, disciples, get up, because he's come back. Had she not been there, we wouldn't have never known that he rose. So women, you're going to either speak up, and I'm saying this to women, and the women speak up. There's a calling upon all of us, but again, I'm a woman, so I'm speaking from I want women to really hear what I'm telling you, that you have a responsibility in this moment. On that speech, I said I'm willing to die for the cause in front of 20. Netflix went out, and at that time, it was 20 million viewers. I'm sure 100 million saw it by now. So here I'm standing up and saying I'm willing to die for the cause, Bishop. And every time we hold an event, we got 20, 30, 50 people in the room at best. Good thing I meant it, Sarita. Because if I was waiting on an army to die with me, I'd be in trouble. So you better learn that whatever come out your mouth, you better stand on business. When I go to Fox News like last night and I fight white supremacists head on, you better stand on business. Because that's why I always preach against the we thing. Because see, ain't no we when I'm getting death threats, it's me. It ain't no we when they looking for me. I use my first and last name, government name. I don't go by no milkshake 8922 on Instagram. They can find me. So I can't be focused on we all. No, y'all we somewhere. I got to stand. It's just me. On the movie Sinners, remember he had a twin for a reason. Just because we look alike don't mean we the same. We ain't the same. Now this is my cousin I done met. She really ain't my cousin, but I feel like she my cousin. But on the movie Sinners, y'all better understand, everybody that look like you ain't really you. Be all right with separating yourself from the twin. He got a mission, I got a mission. Because you're going to be held accountable for your report card. Nobody else's but yours. So when we talk about attendance on a report card, again, we're doing a D, not y'all because y'all here, but we a D at best. Every event that I've been called to speak at, the last one, what was the sister's name, Bishop? I forgot, the sister that got killed with the water. I forgot her name. We saw so many. Y'all remember the sister that got killed with the hot water thrown in her face? My apologies. We deal with tragedy on a daily basis. Sometimes you just forget the names. There was a last event that Bishop and I were at, and I felt like I was talking to Lazarus. The people showed up, but the motivation is gone. The people showed up because they said they tired. Yes, Sonia Massey. I understand why you tired. I get it. Sonia Massey, thank you. I'm not telling you to go fight Trump and go fight white supremacy. Because I'm from that Malcolm X school. The chickens have what? Come on home to roost. Do what you do, God. Handle it. But what I am telling you to do is to be concerned for our community. The local community. 3 tips that I give people: save, meaning save your money, combine your resources. All of this extra that you're doing, the extra, put a little $5 back, a little $10 back, because the tariffs are coming. Turn to your neighbor and say the tariffs are coming. Now y'all can sit up and say it don't affect you if you want to. Y'all can sit up and say, well, I hope the Trump voters get all they get. Well, guess what? It's affecting all of us. And I'm upset about it because I shop on Shein. Now maybe y'all don't, y'all too high class. Who shop on Shein? I love all my $12 dresses. Fashion Nova too expensive for me. They done went from $12 to $30. I know you lying. So if ain't nothing else is affecting that Shein. This dress was a good $14, and I ain't ashamed to say it. And here I'm thinking I'm getting ready to load up my bag, mama. And they done said, wait a minute, hold up, this apply to everybody, not just everybody who voted for. So you can play with it if you want to. The second thing I tell people to do is to stack. What I mean by stack is combine your resources. Partner with other businesses. If you're a PR firm, hook up with another PR firm. Don't look at them as a competition, look at them as a comrade. Put your money together, send out your mailers together, your brochures together. And I also talk about, I first said Shack, but the church was getting mad at me because I kept using Shack. So I turned it to Stack. But it also means somebody better start living with somebody. Better start getting some roommates. Don't rush your kid. I told my baby, oh, when you get done with college, you come back to the house. All this old get out on y'all. No, come on back and let's save your money. Some of y'all relationships, I'll come back and preach that. But some of y'all y'all better work it out with them women. And stop listening to them podcasts and talk about it don't matter what a woman brings to the table. Oh, it matter because look like them women. Y'all say y'all want them to be cooperative. Ain't that what they say? Some of them women cooperating with the DA, though. We'll talk about that on another time, Shannon Sharp. They say black women ain't cooperative enough. It look like they cooperating. They say we're not submissive enough. Well, they submitting that evidence to the DA. So you better get you a black woman that work at the car. I'm sorry, Bishop, I'm getting all off track. But I got to get, yeah, they say it don't matter what, it look like women, it do matter what we bring to the table. We up Lakers in 5. It look like all the master's degrees we went and got gonna be put to some use because the tariffs are coming. So brothers, y'all can listen to, not y'all because it's the wise men, but I'm telling them up, but y'all listen to podcasts if you want to, talking about it don't matter what we bring to the table. Oh, it matters, especially in a time such as this. Better work them relationships out. Figure it out. Get a roommate. Do something. Get some agreements. Because as it stands right now, especially what they're talking about in California, if y'all don't know, the rental assistance program, they are planning on scrapping that next year. And that ain't just Section 8. That's any type of program that you need access to be able to help you in tough times. Now, maybe they ain't never been through nothing, Bishop. I guess I'm the only one been through something. I guess I'm talking to the wrong crowd. I didn't know if anybody been through something. I got a rental property, 2 of them, and they use rental assistance. They pay their fair share. But that extra $200, $300, when times get tough, Bishop, they've tapped into those resources, which are typically from your nonprofits. And in case they haven't heard, Bishop, they taking the nonprofit money, the grants away. What you mean this don't affect us? My very best friend, Spud, who live in California, paralyzed, an Uber driver, driving with no legs. He uses sticks. Driving so much in the car that they had to amputate his toe because he hasn't been doing good pressure release. See, those are the soldiers I'm talking about, Brother Muhammad. I want them tight. I don't want everybody. It's too confusing. They're the twin on the other side of the house. I told him, you better make sure you don't make no error on any of them programs you on, because once you get off, they ain't putting you back on. So you better tell somebody you know that is any type of assistance from a nonprofit, from a church, it's not just Section 8, that they are wiping out those programs. So that's why I say stack. And you also better start getting some survival plans. Who got a generator? You know, who got a this? Who got a that? I've lost 22 of my family members. Both my parents are gone. So my best friend is my family. I'm single. I'm the only one got a deed, Bishop. Both of them married and they don't own their house. No diss, but these are the kind of conversations y'all better be having. Y'all talking about going to Ghana. You need a $350,000 at best to go to Ghana. You ain't going to no Ghana. You don't own your house here. You don't own the land here. And y'all sitting up talking about y'all going to Ghana. With who? And with what money? So when I told my best friends, hey, y'all, I got a deed so we know we can come stay in my house. It ain't much, but it's mine. It's what my grandmother bought in the 50s for $7,500 when she was being beat on and shot at and broken legs by my grandfather. And back then, they didn't give houses to black folks and certainly wasn't giving it to a divorced woman. And I said, Grandma, who's 94, she turned 94 last week. I said, if it's one thing we're going to do, amen, we're going to keep this house in the family. Even though I rebuild it every year. It's very expensive. But we're going to keep this house standing. And I rent it out to other women who are trying to get out of abusive situations. So a lot of times I don't get rent. Most times, actually. But this is what my teacher on the report card, my God, told me to do. So when they have access to the rental assistance program, to be able to keep them in the house, it's affecting a woman going back to an abusive situation. I said this before, but I want to say it again. I want to read it verbatim on what happened yesterday because this is important. After the George Floyd murder, I'm Ben Crump, Senior Public Policy Advisor. Over 100 cities changed policy in one way or the other. The Democrats did a terrible job of not marketing that. They were terrible at that. They sat back and well, they should just know. They should read civics. Ain't nobody know. It's your job to tell them. Jesus didn't say that, did he? He went to the people, didn't he? You didn't tell them. So when people sat back and said, and by the way, I'm an independent, not Democrat or Republican. But when you didn't tell them, they thought did nothing change. You about to see in real time what it looked like. The U.S. Department of Justice said yesterday that it is moving to drop police reform agreements known as consent decrees that the Biden-era department reached with the city of Louisville, Kentucky, and Minneapolis. By the way, I'm one of Joe Biden's toughest critics from the '94 crime bill because I grew up in the '90s and I'll never forget. But this was a good policy that came through that administration. The court enforceable agreements were born out of the probes of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. Both of those cases I worked on, and a lot of people didn't understand, with the agreement, it wasn't just the money with the lawsuit, it was also the policy that we demanded in addition to the money. Because the paper is important, but we also need the policy. And we also need the protest. Those are the three things I talk about. So just yesterday, it's gone. And this morning on social media, people talking about everything but that. Yesterday, they reminded us the system, the school system that we are in and we are a part of. When I hear people say, well, you know, it ain't no point, I'm just using the metaphor, a student. I'm just a little person. I'm going to tell you a story before I close about what it means to be a little person and just a student. And I should be embarrassed to tell this story, Bishop, but I ain't. Because I got to tell you the story. And this is just to give you the analogy of a little person and how I could use David and Goliath, but I like to use real-time examples. So I want to take you back to my 6th grade year. They made fun of me when I asked Vivek Ramaswamy on the Breakfast Club, what was you doing in the 6th grade? What's she doing asking about the 6th grade? Yeah, I like to see the report card all the way back. Because if you are a leader, I should be able to go back in your past. And you should be able to tell, like I can tell you, I got my first bloody nose in the 2nd grade over Shantae Rowland. I got tired of being talking about her. We can go back every year on the year on when I spoke up. This is me saying read it all to Dallas wasn't the first time. Welcome home. I've always been this way. I should be able to go all the way back. And if you can't go all the way back with your leader, you following the wrong leader. Ask them, what did you doing in the 4th grade? What you mean 4th grade? Tell me about what you did in the 4th grade, because I need to know. Yeah, we need to know. Was you always speaking up on the report card? Every report card I had said, great student, but talks too much. Everyone. Was it just me? Okay, me and you, we got a lot in common. Yeah. Everyone. So this ain't nothing new. You should be able to track the progress. My progress report ain't just now, this is way back. You better know that when you call yourself following people up the hill. I talk about that analogy on Boys in the Hood. Y'all watch that or y'all ain't never watched that? Remember when Trey got in the car? Remember when he did all those dramatics? Had the blood on his shirt, fighting the wind? Went against what his daddy told him? I was raised in a Piru hood. LA came and turned my hood around in the Midwest in Oklahoma City. I know a little something about being a Piru. These stitches under my right eye came from a crib. The stitches on my right arm came from a blood. I'm not just telling you I know what a gangster look like, which is why I can understand this administration, because they don't care nothing about the rules, Bishop. They pushing the line. They don't care nothing about what's right and what's wrong. It don't matter. When I was telling them pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, and everybody's telling me, you got to go through Congress. It need to go through Congress. Damn Congress. Sign the executive order and make it happen. Oh, but they going to change it back when they get in. Well, then we'll change it back when you get in. And we'll just keep on changing it back. And if you pass the policy, you ain't got to worry about them changing it back because the people will come vote for you. You ever thought about that? You so busy trying to follow the rules. Because I ain't following no rule. And I got news for you. It's going to be like this from now on. I appreciate a gangster, to be quite honest with you. Trey did all that talking. But when it came time to put in work, he said, let me out the car. See, I wouldn't have never let Trey go with me without telling Brother Muhammad this morning, you ain't coming with me because you're going to get us killed or we're going to catch a case. You wasn't built for this. Go on and go to Morehouse. Bishop would talk about the cruise ships and the battleships. I don't want all y'all with me. You're going to get us killed. Because when it's time to bust, you ain't busted. I was an M60 gunner in the Air Force, just so we clear. A security police officer, 23-pound weapon. I wasn't doing no paperwork. Because I figured if I'm going to go to the military, I might as well die for something. Ain't no point me catching no stray bullets as no civilian. I want to die on the front line. Put me outside, I want to fight all the vampires. I'm going to go out with a blast. Let's make it worth it. I tell all the time, my funeral, hey, it's going to be a great loss. And Bishop, you probably going to be preaching it. Don't sit up and when they say, Tezlyn don't want y'all crying. Yes, I do. I want them crying, falling out, jumping in the casket, smelling sauce. Y'all can do it. If I'm going in the grave, you can give me about 2-3 hours, headaches, all that. And I mean that. Don't come tell me you just stay strong. No, weak. It's a great loss. Y'all kill me with that, so let's stay strong. Who stay strong? After I done say, you better act like you done lost something around here. I'm talking about big shades, big hats, all of it. The Bloods and Crips are carrying my casket out. After that, it's going to be the Divine Nine. After that, it's going to be the church. After that, it's going to be the community. After that, it's going to be the organizers. I want you to see when they put me in the ground who've been riding with me. For those of you that don't know, Bloods where they rag on the right, they're red like Republicans. Crips where they flag on the left, they're blue like Democrats. My homie said, well, do you want the Bloods on the right of your casket and Crips on the left? Y'all mix it up. I was bipartisan. Y'all mix it up. Let them know, blood, Crip, blood, Crip, blood, Crip. Let the homies put me on in the ground, the riders. The ones that wasn't the Trey. That was willing to go ahead and make it happen. Because that's where we are in this moment. The Lord is looking for the doughboys. He ain't looking for the trades. Y'all done did. We see what y'all did with it. So we just gonna go and send you on off to school. Get on out the way. We need somebody to focus on the books. But we looking for the ones that's willing to stand up. So I'll tell you this story, and I really got to get to the airport, y'all. I remember it was like this yesterday. Y'all picture me being 11 years old with my Jerry Curl. Anybody, was it just me with a Jerry Curl? Now, y'all see I'm short, and then you remember we had the Wave Nouvos. It was really on then. So my mother had 10 professions. Rest in peace. She worked at the television station. She was a licensed cosmetologist. I would watch her go at the television station in my Pink Panther sleeping bag and then come home and do a curl or a Wave Nouveau. She was also a notary. She was in Ebony magazine as a bachelorette. She was a fox. Don't get it twisted, but also a hustler. Sold real estate, would have bought real estate. Sold Herbalife. I never saw my mother lay on her back for a dime. I only saw her on her knees praying to my God. That's important that women need to know that. But I decided to go against Bishop, which she taught me, everything she taught me. I had to say that because I want y'all to know I really was raised by a woman that had some sense. The epitome of Alpha Kappa Alpha. She named me after one of her sororities. So no wonder. That's why you look so familiar. Remind me of my mother. You look like my aunt. So my mother really was a classy lady, y'all. I had to tell y'all this before. She never said a cuss word. I learned my cussing from the Figaro side of the family, the Louisiana, the Creole in me. I just had to say that because I want to make sure, because my mother probably said, now, Tezlyn, you're telling them all the business. You know, she was about keeping it private. So I had to set that tone so you know I was raised with some decency. But here I am, 11 years old, and Miss Harris was everybody's favorite teacher. She had a curl, too. And everybody loved Miss Harris, and ironically, it was a social studies class. And every day when we would turn in our papers, Miss Harris would snatch the paper. Dallas, can you hold this paper? Because I want to get a visual so you know what Miss Harris was doing. So here we standing here, and I'm turning in my paper, and she would do this. Thank you. And Bishop, it just wasn't making sense to me at 11 years old. Probably wasn't number 4 feet. Everybody think I'm taller when they meet me in person because I got a big personality, but I'm really short. I kind of got tired of that, Sarita. What's up with this snatching? Even though she was a favorite teacher, just like a lot of these politicians, y'all probably didn't like when I said Michelle Obama was talking about fans. Oh, she talking about Michelle Obama. Oh, but she done did her job. She ain't got, yeah, I'm talking about your favorites and those who you don't like and everybody else. I did it with Miss Harris. Why not with you? You ain't above it. I got tired of Miss Harris snatching the papers. Because I don't understand, why are you being so mean to the least of these? All we trying to do is turn in the paper, Bishop. All we trying to do in America is do our part. All we trying to do in America is live another day. All we trying to do in America is have equity and justice. Why is the system snatching our papers? Taking everything that we have, everything that we worked for, all 400 years on the paper, and you snatching it from us. God help me. I thought about this just this morning, guys, because this wasn't what I was planning on speaking on, but I always ask God to speak to me. So that day I said, it's time somebody say something to Miss Harris. You know, enough of this snatching. Somebody got to speak up. The least of these ain't going to do it. The principal ain't going to do it. What I mean by that is, a lot of these bishops ain't going to do it, except my bishop. A lot of these leaders ain't going to do it. These politicians ain't going to do it. They worried about getting invites to the dance. A lot of people that was disappointed about VP Harris losing wasn't because of you, it was because of them. They lost their contracts. They lost their access. See, the gatekeepers got gate kept, if we really want to talk about it. So I stood in line and I said, I'm going to go ahead and just say what need to be said. And I teach a class called The Consequences of Consciousness. Meaning, when you say certain things, like I told you earlier, die for the cause, you need to really mean that. You can't just betray and say it, and somebody let you out the car. You got to really mean it. So before I had my mind made up to speak up to Miss Harris, I knew what the consequence was going to be, suspension, because I knew I was going all the way in. Wasn't going to play with it. I only got one shot to say something. I might as well say what need to get said. Go on and get the suspension. Go on and get the punishment, which I was on bi-weekly, was just another punishment. I might as well. So when Miss Harris snatched the paper, the system, I took my little self, no power self, that many of you think you don't have power to speak up. Many of you don't know you were married. Many of you don't know you were ram in the bush. Many of you say I'm too small. Well, why didn't I think I was too small at 11 years old talking to authority about snatching the papers? And I said, Miss Harris, pardon my French. Now, this is me at 11. Now, you know I had no business doing this. I'm embarrassed to say, but I got to tell you the story. I said, Miss Harris, one day somebody going to slap the shit out of you. One day you going to snatch the wrong paper. I'm looking forward to the day that America snatched the wrong paper from the wrong leader. One day, somebody gonna slap you back. One day, the chickens are coming home to roost. One day, we ain't singing no hymns. One day, it's gonna be an eye for an eye. That brother a couple of weeks ago, I'm not condoning violence, but I'm telling you what it was. That was the one day when he said, I'm going to go ahead and take one of y'all out. Y'all remember that? Killed that deputy. For those who don't know, go look it up. They murdered his son. He went back and murdered one of them. They said, well, that wasn't the right one. No, and then I want y'all to go back and look at this story. Look at how the brother looked at him when he walked out the courtroom. Yeah, I did that. I did that. I'm not condoning it. I'm just telling you I'm from the Old Testament. I'm going to let Bishop talk to y'all about the New Testament. Yeah, I did that. You need to know that a knock going to get answered with a knock around here with some of us. Something got to change because the singing ain't getting it. Something got to change because the voting ain't getting it. He was willing to say, if you took my son's life and I got to be in jail for the rest of my life, y'all going to start thinking twice about whose neck you step on. Minister Farrakhan says, until we answer a knock with a knock. Now, I'm not telling y'all to go out and do nothing because you ain't about that. I'm just telling you what it is and where we are in this moment in time. This is the mindset of the streets. They don't want to hear no more about, well, let's just vote and make a difference. They don't want to just feel good no more on Sundays and then see our babies murdered on Mondays. So if you don't get here and turn this around, we're going to see more of that, Bishop. And maybe that's what it takes. Maybe it take what they say, a hard head make us what? Maybe that's what it take. Something got to wake y'all up to consistently do it behind just a good semester. We failed in a semester, Bishop, if I'm telling the truth. Of course, I got suspended. Miss Harris said, ain't nobody gonna slap me, ain't nobody gonna slap me. And that's fine. But somebody needed to speak up for the least of these. And I've been carrying that in my spirit ever since. Well, actually, the second grade, but I've been carrying that in my spirit ever since. People say, well, what made you get into politics? I didn't. Politics got into me. At the end, and again, if you're not a believer, but at the end, there'll be a report card. And the report card is very clear, Bishop. It says it's going to divide the wheat from the tare. It says they're going to divide the goat from the sheep. And the goat is not the greatest of all time. On earth it is. But not with Jesus. He's looking for the sheep. Those who are about the shepherd's business. He's going to ask you when you stand before the elders. And if I'm wrong, don't worry about it. But what if I'm right? He's going to ask you, what did you do for the least of these? Did you stand up for the widow? Did you speak up to Miss Harris, the system? Did you do what all you could do? I'm not asking you to be an orator and do what I do and crash out, because that's basically, I'm determined to be an Uber driver, not make no income. I'm not asking you to do what I do. I'm asking, what can you do? If it ain't nothing but sitting in this room, if it ain't nothing but inviting somebody, what can you do? Because when the question is asked, you're not going to be able to say, well, I emailed Tezlyn and she never got back to me. Well, you know that Trump administration. No, what can you do for the least of these? What did you do to speak up to Miss Harris? And if you didn't have the courage to speak up to Miss Harris, did you support somebody that do? Get behind your bishop. Get behind activists like me. We need it, y'all. From a financial standpoint, $5 on it, $2 on it, something. Because if I can't get no job and speak up, because clearly they ain't hiring me, then who the hell gonna be speaking up, because it ain't gonna be you? So if nothing else, get behind somebody that got the courage to speak up to Miss Harris. Y'all something else going to these churches on a weekly, but I'm gonna say it because I know Bishop's gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it in a different way. Y'all planting seeds in the churches that ain't planting seeds for you. I wish I would go to, it's only going to be Bishop Dixon, Jamal Bryant, Bishop Talbot Swan. Paying tithes. They said, well, you know, I ain't that type of minister, well, I ain't that type of tither then. Because I need to know I got a minister that's standing up for some justice around here. The Bible's about justice. Y'all following leaders to feel good. You're not planting good seed. I don't care how big the mega church is. I'm here to tell you, you're not planting good seed. Want to make you feel good about how you're going to be a millionaire on Monday. The jig is up. It really is. If you ain't out there marching with me and Bishop on the front line, I ain't coming to the church. Because I serve a justice God. Now, I'm Old Testament. Deborah said, General Barak, that was his name in case y'all didn't know. The warrior, the female warrior. She said, General Barak, if you don't deliver my people through poverty, he's going to deliver it through the hands of a woman. Meaning if you don't do what need to be done, move out the way so I can do it. So I need you to get the Deborah up in you, male or female. Because what they doing out there ain't it. Y'all the choir, so y'all doing what's right. I need you to go home and challenge some of the folks and have them do what they do. So I stopped by to tell you those few things. I appreciate your time. I hope I was able to challenge and inspire. Please follow me. Thank you. Please follow me at TezlynFigaro.com. We have a training, nonpartisan training called Push the Line. It is online. We have 5 modules, and I give you the truth just like this. I've worked on national campaigns, local, state. I was the only black person on the ground in 2015 with Bernie Sanders when we flipped Michigan. And I talk about Bernie too. No, Bernie ain't about nothing. No, he sure ain't. We can come back at another time. He don't do enough in the black community. And that's why I sued him and won. Go look it up. Yeah, well, it was Tezlyn Figaro versus the revolution. I like standing solo. That's why I like senators. Yeah, y'all go on outside. Tezlyn Figaro, TezlynFigaro is the name on the program. Enroll in the class, y'all. It's online. It's 5 modules. The first one is June 14th. It's a 2-hour interactive with me on Zoom and course materials, but you can always go back and rewatch it. We're doing 5 different modules. If you're thinking about running for office, if you think you may want to run for office, it's the class for you. If you want to work on a campaign, it's the class for you. We need more campaign workers, Dallas. I did a survey, half the people want to be candidates and half the people want to be organized. Well, who's going to work on the campaign? Who doing the work? Yeah, that's what I want to know. We need field directors and volunteer coordinators, and I want to encourage you, you can work on the campaign from wherever you are. So you don't have to wait on somebody you know to run. I want a database. I owned a staffing firm, 300 employees in Orlando, Florida. I worked at the 1st and 3rd largest staffing firm in the world. My goal is to be able to have a database of candidates that can come get talent. No matter your age, no matter your physical ability or not ability, you can work from home as a volunteer coordinator, helping the phone bank, making phone calls. Please come to that class. If you want to be an organizer, come to that class. An organizer is making sure the people hear God in the room. An activist is people that are screaming and yelling. They're always not the same. They should be, but you need to know the difference between the two. So come to that first class, June 14th, guys. It's $50 for the class because I earned what I'm teaching. I wrote the program. I wrote the curriculum. But it's 2 hours. Look at it at $25 an hour. And you can watch it as many times as you want, 5 other modules. So I hope I see a few of you come to the class, TezlynFigaro.com. I love y'all. I got to head out. I got to get to Atlanta. Thank you for your time.